So today I had two trades, similar setups, both short setups, and I got a big lesson in patience. I did get profit on both of them, but I think I've left so much on the table just by a lack of patience. And yeah, I'm going to go through it really quickly. So this is the first setup. There was a good run in London session, and there was this high from last week, and it got ran for NQ. It also aligned with a 1 hour fair value gap, which also aligned with the 4 hour fair value gap, but I'm going to only just mark this one out. And similarly on ES, this same level just barely not get tagged. So let's go to the 5 minutes. So we have that level here. And so we got this really strong rally after the data wick of 8:30, price corrected and just jumped up. And for me, that's a good moment to stay aware. Okay, this was open, US open, and it looked like this was a manipulation up to correct that move. And there were a lot of divergences here going on, but I wanted to see, hey, okay, NQ got this level, will ES not tag this level? So they were here, and I actually have to go to the 1 minute because the 5 minute, yeah, it was choppy and it was quite violent PA, but on the 1 minute I thought it was more clear. So let's go here. So what did I see? So I think this is clear. We got this level, we got the fair value gap, and I saw price rallying here. And what I do normally is I mark my change in the state. And the only last move I had here was would be my change in the state. So I have a change in the state here. And what I then do is I start to look for fair value gaps. And normally I would love to see a fair value gap somewhere around the change in the state, and ideally I want to see a singular fair value gap, so I marked out this one, which is a big one. And I think I also checked the, man, I hate this from TradingView. I checked the 2 minute and it was slightly narrower, so I just used this as observation. So I wasn't going to use it to trade off of it. So let's switch back to the 1 minute. I think I need to do this just quickly after the trade, but normally I don't feel like doing that. So we had a change in the state, price dropped immediately, and I was thinking, okay, so this is overall the forever model. So we have an SMT. So what happened? This was the high it was taken, so that was a higher high, and actually it was a lower high slightly for ES. So that's a high time frame SMT. And what did I see more? We also had a lower time frame SMT because price was already correcting here. So this was a lower high. It was already happening here, right? So here you could already see, let's just do it because I wanted to see a valid setup. This is an SMT already for me. And the draw on liquidity for me would be these levels, these lows. So change in the state, significant drop down. And what you often see is that when this drop down, the change in the state always gets retested. And I've been very impatient before trying to get into the trade already at the drop here. But I thought, no, I'm going to wait, which I did. So that's another good lesson. The first good thing about becoming a bit more patient, but I also acknowledged, okay, hey, this can get really violent. Why? Because what happens if price still wants to tag this level? How far would NQ go? Maybe even it would again tag this level. So I thought, okay, I give it room to breathe, because if this indeed was the high, we would get another SMT, which we did, because I think here, yeah, we have another SMT. So this gave me conviction that it could have been the high and that the correction was imminent. So the RR was 1.5, and I had my first target, I think, here. And my ultimate target, so this would be my first, because so my experience now is, okay, wherever I want to put my logical TP, I have to put it 5 points up. Because generally it does not get my ideal TP at once. It will just get in the vicinity of it and then just bounce in the opposite direction. So I think I put my TP here, so that's a 1.4, but I went in quite big on my 150k evaluation. I don't know, I went short 4 contracts. I took out 2 here, and then I thought, okay, now the bounce comes, and then probably it will run to TP. So, okay, so here, this is where I went wrong, because I saw price coming into my entry again. I went in the red, and I thought, I started, let's say, doubting my setup, and I said to myself, okay, what if I'm wrong? And what if we go up from here? So what I did is I closed at break even, I think in this wick or maybe in this wick. And of course, what this is so typical, you know, then it drops, it retests, and then it just went all to target at once. And I was very tempted after this wick up, which looks like getting this last liquidity for a run down. I was very tempted to go short here, but I also thought, you know, this is just chasing the move. I should not do it. And if I miss it, I miss it. So in the end, I think I made $247 on only this move with 2 contracts. But I missed out on maybe another more, I think 400 or 450 by not taking this move, because I got scared and I went out of my position. So yeah, that's just a pity, because this was just a beautiful draw on liquidity. And what I mean is I take profits a bit before. Normally what price does is then it, like it does here, leaves a small gap, bounces up, and then goes down. And I noticed that I'm not as good as giving back the profits, also because of course my drawdown gets trailed up. It moves up and then it moves back, so I give like half of my position, I give it back, or half of my profit I give it back. So this is something I still need to learn, but overall this was a really good setup. And I think if I'm able to either size up more, because I had conviction in this setup for sure. Once I saw this move up into the change in the state, I thought, okay, this is just really, really good. But I did not really size up, so that's also something for me to take into account. So this is a nice retrace, I think. Then is it silver bullet? I don't know what all the terms are, but it looks like silver bullet to OTE, so that's nice. And then drop down. So this was the first setup. Yeah, I'll make a separate one. So this was my first lesson in patience.